Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell so you get a notification of when we're releasing a new video. I'm sitting today with Willie Pelser. Welcome back, Willie. You've been traveling around the country.
Thank you, Robin. Good to be back.
So, Willie, we're living in a state in South Africa where everyone is highly negative. We've got major issues down in the Cape with the taxi riots, and everywhere you read in the press, I think you're very short of maybe slitting your wrists for still being in South Africa. But pictures might be a little bit different on the ground, and we're seeing company results coming through. So what can you tell us from what's actually happening out there?
Yeah, Robin, true. And even if you travel and I've actually been in the Cape, so to some extent was exposed to no taxis, and the impact that it has on an economy is actually large because some shops are closed, they don't have staff to work, and all those things. So yes, it adds to the dilemma we're facing in South Africa. That hits front page,
Yes.
not just locally, but internationally as well.
Yes.
So yes, you just think South Africa is a nutcase. But we had sort of a results season, and we do have various types of companies listed on the exchange. We often talk about it. There are those with foreign earnings, and then there are obviously those companies who do business in South Africa. They just don't have another option.
Yes.
So, and what's actually nice to see is despite load shedding, despite, they've produced profits. And that's what we look for.
Yes.
So to give you an example, we can talk about the banking industry or the banks per se, and people might argue and say, yes, interest rates are high, so they're definitely going to make money. But true. But what we also have to take into account is if they do make money, are they overlending in a sense that, it can become a problem to themselves, but also to the consumer cycle, and it's all very muted. They're still within the means in the sense of there's a Basel requirement as to capital adequacy ratios and all of those things, and we're well within those boundaries. So they do make money.
Yeah.
Plus, in these difficult times, and we talk difficult times, not yesterday, we talk about the last 10 years, 15 years, etc. They've diversified, into Africa and so on. So yes, management fighting the battle locally. They're also funding, the alternative energy in the country. So obviously there's money to be made. But if we really get down to the nitty-gritty of a true South African operation, I can use the example of a company called Impact.
Okay. They're
in recycling. So yes, what you and I throw out our windows or put out on the street, they recycle from plastic to paper and so on. So to summarize what came through for them, revenues up 17%, profits up 37%.
Sure. Wow.
And it's in these circumstances. So what they've done to enable them to actually do this, they were ahead of the curve in installing solar because they obviously have processing plants,
Yes.
To recycle and manufacture all these new stuff. So, and they negotiated with Eskom, so they can withhold or they can withstand up to phase 6 of load shedding.
Yes.
By having their own power through the solar system, and then negotiations as to when and how their load shedding will happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus, they've applied innovation in the business.
Yes.
So I have to make money in this economy. So they introduced new plastic like crates and pallets into the agricultural sector, specifically the fruit sector. Clients love it. They're buying more and making profit. On the consumer side, they've also introduced new ways of packaging. So, simple example, if you go and buy your avos again, just look at that little tray at the bottom, whether it's 2 avos or 4 avos.
Yes.
That little carton thing that comes from recycling, Impact and others, not just them, are innovating in this process.
Yes.
So, as management, you have to think forward. You have to face this. I've actually written an intuition about Impact, is they've absorbed all this.
Yes.
They've recycled it,
Yes.
all the South African bad news, and what did they give us back? Profit and a dividend.
But Willie, there's another leg to this in terms of, you've talked banking and you've talked Impact. But there's another leg to this, because if the consumer at the bottom end is not buying the products, the end product, so if he's not buying the avos,
Correct.
then Impact's not selling the container. And if someone doesn't have the money to install the solar, then it doesn't matter that the bank can't lend them the money. So, I mean, it does speak to an economy that's a lot more resilient than everyone thinks, isn't it?
Correct, Robin. And I think we've spoken about it before. We mustn't underestimate the informal side of the economy.
Yes.
Because remember, the informal, they buy from a small little corner shop type of thing. But the corner shop, he still sells the Kit Kat. He still sells the washing powder,
Yes.
and the bread and so on. So that still comes from within South Africa. So that resilience in the economy, people are surviving, but they're still buying. And back to the Impact example, the plastics that they have for your oil, your cooking oil,
Yes.
the little plastic bag that your Omo comes in, and so on. That's all from a recycling environment type of thing. And yes, there is a consumer element that we mustn't underestimate. It's not rosy out there, but back to these companies, we've got Roynet as an example, we've got Daco as an example. They make money despite the circumstances.
Yes.
And that's what we need to focus on.
Yeah.
And not the headline, it's actually on the physical.
Yes.
They've paid the dividend. That's why we invest.
Yeah.
That's our philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
They increase profit margins. So the argument of South Africa's in that case, I sometimes struggle to be on that page, from an investment perspective.
Awesome. Willie, thank you for giving us that picture. And dividends is really what pays your income at the end of the day. So it's very key for us. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.